After taking calls with tens and tens of clubs around the world, the number one question that I get is how do I get more coaches to help out in running a big successful program? So I thought to myself, why not sit down and film a video to you guys so you can do the exact same thing at your club. So in this video I'm going to walk you through exactly how we have done it, how we have been able to attract more than 187 coaches this summer alone in order to run these programs that we have run the past summer. And in this video we're going to talk more about how you attract these coaches, how many you need of them, where to find them, and lastly, how to make sure that you never ever again are worried about attracting coaches in the future. So let's get started with the first one, how to attract coaches. Now, before I tell you how to do it, I want you to understand why the methods that you are using now aren't working. You see, if you just go and ask someone to be a coach, the answer is always going to be no. We need to come up with the offer to these coaches that is so good that they are willing to put aside whatever they were doing in their afternoon in order to coach in our programs. Now, the easiest way to understand this is to divide it into two pieces, and we want to give the coaches both of these two. So I'm talking about internal and external motivation. So when we are talking about internal motivation, then we are talking about them feeling that this is something fun and them feeling that they are learning something. So basically what we can do in order to make that happen is to make sure that the actual program is fun for the coaches and that we have some education aside that, so they feel that they are actually getting something out of it. Now when it comes to external motivation, this is more about them feeling that they are getting something back for the time they put in, which can be money or it can be fame, or ideally both. So what we used to do is that we both compensate the coaches for their time that they are putting down, and we also make sure that they get some acknowledgement, both from the participants but also from the club side. That way we have satisfied all different motives that these people might have in order to coach. So with that said, now we have done the hard part of actually coming up with an offer to give them. So what we are offering, one more time, is we give them compensation, we make sure that they get acknowledgement for that they are doing, they're going to get some kind of education in order to take this role, and we're going to make sure that this role is fun, doesn't have a lot of effort into it, and it's not so time consuming. So once you do that, you're going to soon realize that a lot of these people that you maybe thought were not interested are actually interested in being coaches. Now that we talked about that, let's also talk a little bit more about how many coaches you need in order to run a big program. And now the programs that we usually run are from 80 to 150 people. So let's take, for example, a program in the middle which is around 100 people. So if you have a program with 100 people, usually you are going to need around 5 coaches per session. So 5 coaches per session, which means that in total to run this program you would need 3 times the amount of that. And why you need to do that is so you have a large enough pool of coaches where the coaches don't really feel that they need to be there all the time. And this is a key element with actually succeeding with this, because if you have too few people helping out, they're going to feel burned out. So for example, you could have theoretically only 5 people running a course with 100 people, but it's much better to have 2 times the amount of that, or even 3 times the amount of that, because that way you make sure that everyone that's helping out doesn't feel burned out and doesn't feel that they have too much pressure on their shoulder. Which also, if we go back to what I said at the beginning, makes it much easier to attract people to actually be coaches. If they know that there are going to be a lot of other people helping out, then they feel that this is something that everyone is doing and they understand that it's not that much work involved. Now the next question is, where do you actually turn in order to find coaches? And this is a common misconception that clubs have. They think that coaches are only people that have educated themselves or have been in the sport for many, many years and no one else is allowed to help out. Which is not really true, because what a coach essentially is someone that knows more about the topic than the actual participant. So if you happen to run a beginner's program, you don't need to have actually the best coach in the world in order to run these people through this program. You just need some people that are better than these participants and that they have some basic knowledge in how to communicate with participants and how to coach them. So oftentimes the coaches that you need in order to run a program like this are actually in your club in form of active members. So what you can do is look around you, see the members that have been active for the longest time, and then make this offer to them. Now, I know also from experience that some clubs maybe don't have that many active members, or maybe the active members that are part of the club are not able to help out as coaches. Then the next thing you can do is to actually look around you and see what club is close to me that maybe have these people that I'm looking for, and actually make the ask. You never know if you don't make the ask. And trust me, you can actually get people from another club to be coaches at your club if you have a good enough offer. We have done it before and it was really good. So that's a little bit more where you find them. They are either members at your club or they are members at a club around you that you can borrow them for running this program. And the pro tip here is to actually ask younger people that are around the age of 20, maybe they are going into college, and maybe this amount of money that you're going to give them is really attractive for them. So it's totally different if you ask someone that works as a lawyer to be a coach and then you have a motive that they're going to get $20 per hour, or if you ask a student that actually wants to pay out their rent and you give them $20 an hour. So it's going to be much easier to get someone that maybe is more in need or maybe has more free time to actually show up and coach. So you can have that in mind also. So now that we talked about that also, the last thing that I wanted to talk with you about is how you make sure to never ever get worried again about having enough coaches to run a big program. And how you do this is simply by getting in new people, training them for a year, and then using some of these people as assistant coaches. And am I saying now that you can run a full program with 100 people only with help of members that have been at your club for 1 year? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can actually use these people that have went through this program to help out for next year's program. And this is something that we have done a lot. I mean, in 2 clubs that we have run this big program, we have used people from last year's program to help out, and it actually worked out really good. And the funny thing is that some of these people that are new to the sport actually turned out to be some of our best coaches this year, because they really made sure to go through the education because they felt that they needed to, which resulted in them being better coaches than some of our other coaches that have been active in the sport for 10 or even 15 years. So yeah, I mean, if you have been in the sport for 1 year and you have had the right education, you should absolutely be able to take care of beginners, which makes this easier and easier for every year that passes by. And that's exactly how we have attracted 187 people for the programs that we have run. And I hope really that you also got some value out of this, and maybe you're going to try 1 or 2 things that I mentioned in this video in your own club. Now, if you don't want to hassle with this and you want someone that helps you out with all these parts, so you don't need to go through trial and error and burn a lot of time, then I'm going to leave a link down below where you can go and check more about what we do with the clubs that we have worked. And if it sounds interesting to you, then you can go ahead and click on the link below and see if you qualify. It's totally free for the club, so you don't need to worry about that, but we still need to know if we can help you out. So go ahead and check if you qualify. If you don't want to do that, that's totally fine also. Just take some of these strategies. I'm sure that you're going to be able to attract more coaches to your next program. With that said, see you on the next video. Good luck.